I'll make a motion to approve the Casino Farm, Tree Farm alcohol retail license for 14 days.
Casino family. Yeah. Tree farm. Okay.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve that Class C retail alcohol license. I will call for vote. Primer, aye.
Seaman, aye.
Your shake aye.
Good. Okay. Item 5, we've got a resolution here.
Let me give it to you.
Yeah, or do you have, okay, yeah, I did bring some.
Okay. And I think you were going to give us a recap.
Yep,
Is that correct?
so this resolution is clarification from the department head and handbook committee members that could meet last Wednesday. I was on the phone, I was not present, but my understanding, or our understanding, is that everybody signed off on it, exactly how everything will be implemented would be effective. It's just clarification, so nothing in the handbook's changing, it's just clarification of January 1 implementation, and then vacation January 1, and then following anniversary date, and that was it. So all members in attendance, I think, were asked to or did sign off on the fact that they agreed to that implementation. Whether or not, you know, we all liked it or not, that's opinions, but just for feasibility, that was what was decided.
And you attended that meeting,
Yes, I did.
is that correct? Okay. And so we got an email on it, and so I read the email, obviously, and just scanned briefly through that, so, yeah, no problems. So, okay. So, any information you want to give on it, or you're,
No, there's
you're
nothing, I mean,
part of the group
it
that
was,
agreed?
it was unanimous,
Okay.
everybody that attended.
All right, so with that, I would need, if you approve it, need to get a motion to
Okay,
do
I'll
so.
make a motion to approve the amended resolution 24-73 of the handbook revision 4.2 through 4.5.
So it'll be number 2480, right? The new number?
Yeah.
New number?
Because you're amending the old, so it's going to be adopting the new number.
Okay. 2480 is the new one?
Mhm.
Okay. Okay, was that a second, Gary?
Yes.
Okay, that's been moved and seconded. I will call for vote. Primer, aye.
Seaman, aye.
Your shake aye.
Very good. Do you know if Myron's coming
I
in?
really did, yeah.
Okay, good.
I just emailed them this resolution.
Okay.
But there's no time on it, so.
No, I get that. I just didn't want to jump into it if he's coming. You have it signed, Gary?
What's that?
You got it signed? Just in time.
Utility permit for Alliant Energy in Cedar Township way up on 50th Street. That's sections 3, 4, and 5. They have overground right now, they're gonna put it underground. Pretty straightforward permit, but since they're going from overhead to underground, I asked for utility permit versus just the working right-of-way permit. So I just need board approval and a chairman's signature.
Motion to approve it.
Second.
Okay, that utility permit's been moved and seconded upon. Call for vote. Primer, aye.
Seaman, aye.
Burchak, aye.
Thank you.
Just a line there.
Down to yours, yep. I just have to do it. I don't know why, just look for your name, right? It would be simple.
Thank you.
Thank you.
With Randy Sherwood's retirement and filling that position with Dan McKenna. Dan McKenna formerly was the grading crew foreman, which created an opening for the grading crew foreman. We took applications a week ago Monday. We interviewed those applicants and narrowed it to one, recommending that Shane Clark be the next grading crew foreman. His labor classification will change to DID or 6D, and that rate will be $29.47. And I'm suggesting we just make it effective next Monday with the new pay grade. Resolution for that change.
Your motion to approve that.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, been moved and seconded. I will call for vote. Primer, aye.
Seaman, aye.
Burchak, aye.
Gathering those signatures just real quick. Shellsburg North on asphalt paving got started. They're about half done with that first lift, but then gonna go and do, I don't call them Home Road from Benton out to Oak Grove Church. They're gonna finish the first and both lifts on those two roads first and get all the driveways and intersections done on those two road segments. Then they're gonna pave the rock going east from the Oak Grove Church over to Lynn County.
Good.
Other than that, I didn't have anything for you today.
Okay. Anything for Myron, fellas? We're good? Thank you, sir. Okay, well, it's not 9:20, so we'll skip to item 8. Accept the resignation of Sue Wilbur, HR Director.
Rick, if you'd like, I can explain sort of what the
Okay,
details
please.
of this for the
That'd be
public.
great.
Back in the spring, I was contacted by an attorney that Ms. Wilbur had retained, asking for preservation of documents, which is a procedure that usually is the beginning of a lawsuit. I referred that to our insurer, Heartland Group. At some point, Ms. Wilbur's attorney approached Heartland Group about a separation. Heartland did an evaluation as our insurer and decided that discussions would be appropriate. So they engaged in negotiations on behalf of the county, and an agreement was reached, final agreement was reached last week, and the board was informed on Thursday of it. Essentially, it's a severance agreement where there's a lump sum payment, and then there's a other obligations that are part of her contract. Before this became finalized, I discussed with Heartland this lump sum agreement because we didn't want to pay it. You know, we didn't feel we should. So they agreed that as our agent, they would pay it on our behalf. As to how that affect our premiums, and they explained to me that as part of a pool, we get a rebate at the end of the year based on our claims and whatnot, and that Benton County has an excellent track record for safety and liability claims. So because we are doing so well in those other areas, this isn't gonna impact us like it normally would. You know, we've had, you know, this claim and last year's settlement, and that's really anything big we've had for a while. So in a sense, it's not gonna cause the impact that maybe the public might fear it would. So based on that, I recommend the board accept this, and they have, and we'll move forward.
Okay, thank you.
Doug Cook, as a person, taxpayer in the county, I was curious what the terms were. I don't care about what the disclosure of why or whatever, but the terms, we should know what they are.
The contract
what
was
the payments
filed-
are and everything.
It was filed on Friday in the auditor's office. It's available.
In the what office?
Auditor's office.
Okay.
It was
Separate
filed last
than release
Friday.
agreement. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
So I can come to the auditor's office and get that information?
Actually, it was yesterday, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was yesterday.
Yesterday.
I have a copy here with me, but yeah.
Yeah, anybody that wants it can get it, but just understand that as our agent, the insurer's paying the lump sum, and then we're just paying what her contract requires, her accrued unused vacation, and then there's a notice provision we have to honor in her contract. So,
Along that same line, you're still dealing with the previous HR person, aren't you?
well, that's in litigation, and I'm not gonna comment on that.
Okay. And also too, you have, I don't mean to throw a stone here, but you've got one with Haley also. There's something going on with Haley also, so.
I would answer that.
I'm just saying that there's a lot more things hanging in the balance here. So does the insurance company know that too?
Yeah, they're,
Okay,
yep. I mean, I'm in constant contact with them,
okay,
so, but this, well, that's all I'm gonna say.
okay. Well, thank you.
So fellas, I need a motion to approve her resignation.
We'll make a motion to accept her.
Okay, exception, sorry. Same difference, yep.
Second.
Okay, been moved and seconded to accept Sue Wilbur's resignation. Call for vote. Primer, aye.
Seaman, aye.
Mearshank, aye.
Well, Ray, we got 5 minutes before our timed session here. You got enough
Yep, I
time
can do
to?
it.
Okay,
So on Friday, I met with Ms. Wilbur before she left, and I agreed to take her forwarded emails until I could get in front of the board and discuss how to proceed. I did, Derek here, his wife works in the HR field, and so he had some good insight to share with me. Right now, I talked to Heartland, in the risk pool, there are 10 counties. We were the only county that had an on-staff HR director. There are 2 counties that used outsourcing, and then the other 7 did their own. So, I looked at outsourcing as an option, and I have for you to, pass these out, for you just to study, and we can come back next time and talk about them. Just some notes that Derek put together on the 3 firms, plus a submission Haley had for Allers and Cooney, the law firm out of Des Moines. I think probably the board should study these and then next week come back and talk about it. Also, I met with Julia Berry, the part-timer in that office. She would like to meet with the board next Tuesday to discuss her situation. I'll set that up, so.
okay.
But at this point, my thought is we should investigate maybe doing an RFP for outsourcing services. Unless you're inclined to try to, hire another director itself.
Oh, thank you.
But I think we should at least explore the options available out there. In the meantime, Judy from Heartland has indicated that she would like to see Nancy handling all the like workers' comp and claims like that at this point. So, because apparently they have had a good working relationship with Nancy, and they think that in the interim, that's a good way to handle that situation. Because we can't just not do anything while we figure this out.
Are we gonna do anything with those new contracts that we just entered into?
I think that's the board's got, the big one is this HR contract services. You know, if they outsource, then we'll have to cancel that because obviously we won't need it. So that's gonna be dependent upon what we do. And we gotta move fairly quickly on it.
Yeah,
'Cause we
we
have
just don't wanna
people-
have to keep paying if we don't even,
I was gonna say, cause aren't those being
are-
paid off the credit card?
yeah, and that credit card thing was only gonna be through September, so. Yeah, so we'll have to definitely make some decisions.
So we'll probably be back on the agenda next week to talk about this more. I'm gonna try to talk to these 3 firms plus ours and get a better feel. But we just made to put it out for RFP to see what we get.
Okay,
So,
good, then you'll get with us to let us know your,
yep, and I'll work with Haley on it too.
okay, perfect. All right. Questions, fellas? Okay. All right. Well, it is 9:20. Tim?
Yes.
Okay. You're on the agenda to discuss the fees for the care of the soldiers' graves?
Yes.
Okay. You got the floor, sir. Just need you to speak up.
Well, originally I was told you had to go through the Veterans Affairs Department, and that, the lady that had been in charge of that they kept quitting all the time for the last several years. So the one that's doing it now, I can't remember, I think it's maybe Courtney. Courtney.
That's what
She researched it, and she said it's the supervisor set that fee. And I've been on our Salem Cemetery Board for 25 or 30 years, and it was $5 when we started. And I think the way everything else is going on, not just Salem Cemetery, I think all the cemeteries in the county that have soldiers buried in them, they don't appreciate getting some more money for their care. Because our mowing cost went up, when I started, it was $800 or $1,000, and now it's $2,500 to mow the cemetery. So, my recommendation, or opinion is that if you could increase that $5, since it's had been increased for so long.
That the last time was when that
Yeah.
resolution was
I
passed.
see that, yeah. Which was January 5th of '22.
And a lot of those too, we have to be careful, they double dip through the townships for some of theirs.
Well, our township, it's in El Dorado Township, and they won't pay. Those, the clerk and the trustees, they never pay. And like some of our older board members would go all the time, and they just says, we're not gonna give you any, because the reason I was told, ours is a public cemetery, like if you're indigent at the Methodist Cemetery, I mean, it's kind of affiliated with the Methodist Church. Like if somebody didn't have a place to be buried, they could be buried in our cemetery. But like in El Dorado Township, the Lutherans, that's not allowed, is from what I was told. And we had a few buried in, since I've been on the board in the Methodist Cemetery, that didn't have any place else to be buried, and they were buried in our cemetery. So I don't know what happened in '22, what was that you were talking about?
That was when they passed a resolution for the setting the fees for the care of soldiers' graves.
Well, I don't know what the board thought about increasing it. Because we do, Union Township pays some for us every year, but that's not really where the cemetery is. And I'm not asking just for Salem Cemetery, I'm asking for all the soldiers' graves in Benton County. I don't know how many that would be. I'm guessing maybe 1,000, I don't know. We have 41 now, and I think when I talked to somebody, they said Evergreen and Benton had 100 and some. there's they want the Keystone and Blair style. So I don't know if it would be about,
Imagine Courtney would have that information.
no, I asked her,
She does not.
she's just started here this year. She might have been able to find it, but I don't know what it is.
Okay. Well, somebody knows how much goes out, every year
It
for
comes
that.
out of her budget, I know that.
Yeah.
My question is to you, does your cemetery, Salem, over there by, between us, does that have perpetual care?
That's all gone.
It's all gone.
When I took over the cemetery, it was Gibb Sherman was the treasurer, and there was a lot of different counts. But someone just had a few $100s in it, he just says, we're just gonna make this easy, if we just put them all. It's just all one account. And I don't know when they sell the plots now, I don't know how, I don't think they don't talk about the perpetual care, it's just so much for a plot, and it's just the understanding of it.
Is
We're
that
gonna
how,
somebody's gonna take care of it. Like when we had the derecho, we had a lot of stones got damaged, we paid for all those.
is that how you've been operating your cemetery on the lots that you sell, to use that money for the mowing?
Well, no, we don't sell that many lots a year. When I started, we would get enough, we have some investments, and then with what we got from the soldiers' graves, and then Union Township would give $200, and if we sold one lot, that would be enough to pay, but the lots went up, they were 200 when I started, and now they're 600. So we don't come anywhere close to, if we sold one lot, and then what we did from the soldiers' graves and Union Township. That would only be $1,000. So our investments keep going down. And then, just because of the way the interest rates are, it just doesn't come. We keep losing, our balance keeps going down. And a few years ago, we had to have a call to board members, or not just the board members, but we sent out letters to people families that were buried there if they wanted to contribute extra, and we raised a bunch of money that way. But you can only do that so many times. And I just think the way everybody else gets a raise, in the county, I see in the meeting, everybody else always wants more money, so. Employees all want more money, so I would think the veterans and everybody would think this is a good idea, I would think.
Tim, you're not the first request I've heard. I've heard from other people that take care of, cemeteries, et cetera. So, it's hard to make ends meet.
But you haven't ever done anything about it.
Not since 22. No.
But that they didn't change the amount.
I don't think that
No.
the amount changed,
No,
no.
what it changed is kind of clarified, like you were pointing at St. John Cemetery, the one that I'm in charge of. We don't qualify for getting any funds at all because we have perpetual care.
Yeah, we don't have that. Because when I started, it was $1,000 a year, now it's $2,500.
Mm-hmm.
And that's Mars Mower, they do a real good job. And, if we didn't have them mowing, it would even be more, I think, if you put it out for bids. But they're kind of affiliated with the church. And Jim and Barb always did it now. Then Brent did it for a while, and now Brian. Brian did it for a while, now Brent and one of his nephews does it.
Tracy, would you be willing to look into this, since you're kind of familiar with the perpetual care and et cetera, and maybe report back to us and give us a recommendation?
All right.
And then, in the meantime, maybe you can find
I
out
can meet with Courtney,
exactly, see what that budget is.
because I'm trying to, Haley would probably remember better than I do, because like I said, we don't St. John Cemetery does not qualify for this.
I think Kara really dug into that, because she didn't
Yes,
want
that's
those
how it got
townships double
changed.
dipping, yeah.
Sure.
And I think that's when she brought that forward.
Yes.
Okay.
So what I'll do, I'll give you a copy of what the ordinance has changed, right here, Tim. You probably haven't seen the resolution that we did back in January 5th of '22 is when we changed it. And it's basically the qualification for applying for the money, the $5. You know, I'm like you, $5 don't cover very much.
Well, I mean, it helps, I don't wanna think that we're not grateful, because it does help, so.
But on the same token that, you know, I have talked to other counties around here, they don't give anything.
Well, Benton County already has a precedence that they give some.
You know, well, that's just it, you know, other counties do not
But
give
that
any money.
doesn't, I don't think that's relevant to what Benton County does.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying that we're kind of a standalone here, that we do.
Well, I think Benton County has a kind of a strong veterans, like Van Horn has a pretty strong veterans
Mhm.
group, but I don't know about the other towns, but I just see when they have their Memorial Day stuff, they get a lot of people to them. When they do stuff at the high school for Veterans Day, it seems like the veterans pretty much like support the county, it looks like.
Well, if you could check into it and get back to us, I think that would be the smart thing.
Let me check with, not Kara.
Courtney.
Courtney, and see what figures she's got. She'll have to go back when Kara did it last.
Hopefully
How
there's a
many
file.
cemeteries she paid.
Well, I mean, we can run it off of our financials too,
Okay.
but.
Cause I don't remember, usually it comes like in September when they file. I
Sometimes
I
they did
think,
file it all
but
at
I,
once.
you know what I mean? I haven't been around that now for a while.
Usually we just get a lump sum and they list them all out.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they haven't paid this year's yet, because we were holding off on it. If you were gonna increase it, we figured if we got paid for this year, then you wouldn't pay. So you don't have any idea what you're gonna do?
Not, let me talk to Courtney to see how much there is, how many they pay for right now.
Because our new budget started, so she's probably planning on the same rate.
If
See,
she,
that's what I ran into when I started it, they would always say, well, you know, it's too after the budget, so we'll have to wait a year, and then they would change administrators, or, it's just been ongoing. So I think the county has plenty of money to, I'd like, you know, you could just do it. Don't you have some other government money from COVID that you have a slush fund kind of, that you do different things with?
we have to make a budget amendment to her budget if we give her more money, no matter what we do.
Well, that doesn't seem like that would be a problem.
That's not the end of the world by any means, so, you know, I think Tracy checking into it, figuring out what we can or can't do, and then, you know, he'll get back to us, and Courtney can reach out to you, you know, with that. So I don't think your request is, you know, off the wall at all. So let, you know, Tracy do some research with it, so.
So should I just hold off on having them turn in this claim for this year?
We can turn it in, can't he? And then just.
You can turn it in.
Turn it in,
But if they pay it, then, and if you do
It would
increase
be
it,
an
you'd still-
increase.
you would still increase it
yeah,
this year.
if that's the decision.
Well, I already know one person that would vote for it, was what I was told.
Yeah.
I talked to Gary about it, he said he supported it.
I think we all support it. We just gotta know where we're at.
It's hard to support a number you don't know.
Yeah.
You know, you don't know if it's 1,000, 500, you know, 5,000, you know, we just need to get a number. We need to get some
With the
information.
computer age, I don't think that would be very hard to figure out, so.
Yeah, so that's,
Especially if you say some cemeteries don't get it, because Lutheran, that's a bigger cemetery, and if they don't get it, maybe some of those, like Keystone and Blairstown, don't get it either.
I bet they don't, I don't know.
Because if they don't get it, if you don't let anybody be, if it's just a church cemetery, then they can't get it.
If they have perpetual care, if they got money in the bank to help support it, And they do not qualify to the ordinance that you got in your hand right now.
Wow.
Resolution.
Nobody'd ever given me this before, so.
Okay,
I researched it for today.
Yeah.
We got it out, John actually printed it out.
so let me do some checking on this, get with, and then she'll let you know.
King John at the auditor's office. Yeah,
His
he-
wife used to be the VA director.
What's
There.
that?
John Martin, his wife used to be the VA director, so
Oh.
he heard you in there and he printed that out for us.
No, I talked to him on the
Yep,
phone.
yep.
Because he works at the auditor's
Yep, he
office.
works for me.
Yeah, he was real helpful
Mhm.
about this.
Yep.
Good.
And I remember Kara researching all that too, so hopefully Courtney will have a file on all that.
Okay, well, that's all I had, so.
Okay,
We'll
thank
just
you.
wait till your decisions.
Yep, and I think we have your phone number. We can get in contact or maybe meet up with you.
yeah.
Okay,
Okay,
okay.
thank you. Okay, item 10, this is a closed session. Enter into closed session pursuant to Iowa Code Section 21.51C. It's to discuss strategy with counsel in matters that are presently in litigation or where litigation is imminent, where its disclosure would be likely to prejudice or disadvantage the position of the government body in that litigation. I think, Ray, you put this on, is that correct?
That is correct. I need to talk to you about something.
So I need a motion to enter into closed session.
So move.
Second.
Okay, that's been moved and seconded to enter into closed session. Call for vote. Primer, aye.
Team and I.
Appreciate that.
So I'm going to ask that the room be clear.
Are you coming back for public comments?
Yeah,
Okay, I'll hang around.
all right, thank you.
Thanks. Amazing, it was long.
You need your notebook back? Amy? You need that back? I didn't need it yet.
Okay, we're back into open session, and next item is reports. Are there any reports?
I started the concrete project here last Thursday. Got the west side of the transportation building poured done, like for cure. Got, yesterday I got the sidewalks done on the east side over here done. And I poured a little slab for a bench at the sheriff's department.
Nice. Okay. Gary?
Everything's coming up.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, I got kind of a packed house later in the month, so, yeah, okay. There he is.
I'm
Now, Scott?
Sure, thank you. All right, good morning, everybody. Scott Hanson, for the record. I just want to go over, most of you are aware, but the general public probably isn't. So on June 14th, through the auditor's office, I put in an open records request to Sue Wilbur of the Human Resources Department for all handwritten notes at Board of Supervisors meetings from the time she started through the date at that time, June 14th, and any typed electronic notes that she was taking during that. I received from the auditor's office then a copy that's dated June 20th from Ray Lau. I've got, from what I see he wrote, I've got to assume Sue reached out to Ray about whether she had to comply with that request, and his conclusion was generally notes taken by a public official acting in their official capacity during a public meeting are not confidential and subject to an open meetings request. I didn't hear anything from that point after. I reached out after, IPIB recommends 10 to 20 business days to fulfill a request. I reached out after 30 to Haley at the auditor's office for any update that she may have received, because I heard nothing from Sue during this whole period, including not even an acknowledgement that she received my request. She said at that point that Ray was supposed to be getting a hold of me about something that Sue was still not wanting to comply, or had a lawyer that said she didn't have to or whatever. So that's where it got left. Well, now with what's just happened with her resigning and the HR department in limbo, I'm still wondering if this request is gonna be filled.
Well, the answer is I don't know, because I have never been, the notes have never been made available. And I one of my answer to you back several months ago was sort of qualifying that, while they may be public information, they may have confidential stuff in them that would require editing or redacting. I don't have them. I've never been able to get them. They refuse to give them to us. I don't know what to tell you. If they're on her laptop, we have access to them, then sure. You know, after somebody reviews them, but, you know, I don't know what's on our laptop. I have no idea. We'll do what we can, but
Was that a county laptop that she was sitting here taking notes?
I don't know, I assume so, I don't know.
That's what I was doing.
Yep, no clue.
Can you recover and anything deleted? Just out of curiosity. Sorry.
Everything's on the cloud.
I mean, I'll talk to Ben about it and see where we're at.
Please do, because I really like an answer. We're August 20th now. My assumption all along is she was an employee of Benton County. She was asked to be here at Board of Supervisor meetings by the Board of Supervisors. I've got to assume that the laptop she was doing all of her business on was county-owned. So county employee taking notes on behalf of the county on a county piece of equipment. I don't know how easier it gets if that's a public record.
Well, it depends on what note she's taking, Scott. I mean, generally you're right, but it doesn't mean you're automatically right. And like I said, they refused to turn it over. We got to sort of a stalemate over it.
So is
I will
the,
talk to Ben and see what's on it.
so is the county on my behalf gonna continue to pursue this and get them to me, or do I have to go out on my
I
own?
just said I would.
Okay. All right, I appreciate that. Thanks.
Scott.
Yep,
Are you enjoying retirement?
absolutely. I recommend it.
All right.
Thanks, Ray.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Is there anything else?
Ray, you said you do have access to her emails. We're missing an invoice for the credit card?
I don't have anything prior to Friday afternoon,
Okay,
so Julia would have it.
okay. I'll
Probably
talk to
have,
her.
maybe, that or, no, well, let me talk to Ben.
All right, so
Is
we're
it-
missing a receipt for that credit card bill,
Okay,
for that invoice.
and I gotta meet with Ben on some other issues related to that, so.
Gentlemen, if there's nothing else, Doug?
I just have a question. The assistant, the HR assistant, where did they fall into this whole scenario with all this going on?
Well, that's something we're gonna have to talk about, but we sort of need some direction as to where we're going. She wants to stay, she likes working here, she grew up in Benton County. She seems to be a very competent young lady with a great disposition. You know, we should take a hard look at, you know, is there some way to work to keep her, if that works into the plan? And she'll be here next Tuesday, she had to work today, she works 2 jobs. So she'll be here next Tuesday to discuss with the board.
I think she also goes to school, doesn't she?
Yeah, she graduates in May with her HR degree.
There you go. Yeah.
She works for Target and they're paying for her college. So she works for Target and here and goes to school, so that says a lot to me.
Sure.
I have one thing, just thought of, sorry, Dana Sanders. So in the meantime,
Did
since
you
she's
say your
not,
name, did you?
Dana Sanders, sorry. She's gone, so all of the records that she was, you know, pushing to get here, do they now revert back to Haley? Just so that they're somewhere where they're being taken care of and questions are answered for, you know, any of those people that are impacted by that?
My conversation with Julia was that because she was an employee of the department, I expected her to maintain the records, update things, and keep me apprised of every development.
I meant like the payroll, things that she was like in here hounding to get, do they go back to Haley?
Haley's doing payroll.
Okay.
But my payroll file, you're talking about the personnel files?
Yeah, yeah, that's
Payroll
right.
files, Sue did, they're still in the HR office.
Okay. I just, sitting in limbo.
Yep.
So, yeah.
They're still all in there. Ray and I kind of talked about that yesterday too, because that was my concern.
I'm going as fast as I can go, but I have a lot on my plate, so.
Well, if there's nothing else. Okay,
Okay, motion adjourned.
Second.
then moved and seconded, call for vote, Primer, aye.
Women, aye.
There's a lot of veterans.
Somebody got realized already, so I'll just put you on that same email.
Right here.
Me too.
Well, we passed 22.
That, yeah.
Basically, that cemetery got